Hello, lovely. This is Jeannie Street, and welcome to Angels Don't Lie. Tonight's a little bit of a different episode than we've done in a while because I am not going to be doing call in readings. Rather, I'm going to share a very personal experience that has transpired over the past week with my husband. So, right before Easter, we had our whole world turned upside down. And I know you're going to lean into this conversation because we're going to talk spiritual enlightenment, how our souls evolve, and about near death experiences. So, grab your journal, get a seat, and let's get to it. Near death experiences. I want to talk about God. I want to talk about awakenings, spiritual awakenings, enlightenment, expansion, what that looks like. There's so much talk about this. And I wanted to dive into a really juicy topic and something that has been happening in my own personal life at this time. So, this past week, my husband had what is called a sinus pause. His heart stopped. And, he's at the hospital. Thank God he was at the hospital when all of this happened. I couldn't be with him. Um, this is post COVID. Everything that's, you know, changed in our world is you can't be with your loved ones at the hospital. We still are under, semi quarantine, right? So there are rules and there are restrictions. And so I can't be with him when all of this is going down. And I don't really hear about the exacts of it until way later. What I do know from the call is, when I called him in the morning and he was, admitted into the hospital for a different issue, is that he didn't sound right. Something was going on and he started jarbling about possibly needing a pacemaker and waking up and people around his bed, and he was confused and he had paddles on his chest and he was terrified. They told him his eyes rolled back. They told him his one side of his face looked droopier than the other. And I'm fucking freaking out, right? I'm freaking out because of course, like, I'm gonna freak out. What are you gonna do? Like, here's your spouse, here's your loved one, here's the man I've been with for 40 years. We've been married 36 years. We dated in high school. I've been with him, like, so long, more than half my life. And what am I gonna do? Like, I can't help him. So I have to go about all of these things on my own, and I lean into God and I lean in with my prayer, and I take my spiritual practice so seriously, and I'm like, I need help me, God. I cannot do this, please help me. And that's what happened. God stepped in and he literally calmed me down. I was able to do my meditation. I was able to call my daughter. I was able to support my kids and get answers while he was there, while worrying and not being able to be there, and being on the phone when he's trying to describe everything. And in the background, I'm hearing this page go off for a code for a stroke on the third floor. And that code is for him. And now all these people are walking in the room and he's got to go. So of course I'm panicking. Long story short, he gets transferred to a different hospital. He starts to describe partially of where he was when his heart stopped. And I hadn't even realized his heart had completely stopped at that point. I thought he had um, almost fainted. I thought that his eyes rolled back and he like almost fainted and his heart rate went lower. I didn't realize that his heart had actually stopped. And so he had several more where his heart rate lowered uh, way down. And so they decided they were going to, check him for a stroke immediately and assume the worst and hope for the best and send him to a new hospital. And that's what they did. And so all that time we were just going back and forth with, thank God the phone, thank God, right? Thank God we have technology. And I know I've done many, many, many readings for people over the past year and a half who have had loved ones in the hospital, both with COVID and not, terrified because they can't be with their loved ones, terrified because the only communication they have, hopefully, if their loved one can function, is with this. I've had clients and their spouses have died and they didn't even get to FaceTime and see them. They didn't get to be with them. And here I am, and now it's my turn. I'm here and I can't be with him. And I have experienced this before. My mom had COVID and she's in the hospital. We can't be with her. I can't go there. I can't be there. right? You can't. And so you're doing your best to hold it together and feel your feelings and not fall apart. And that's what I was doing the whole time while he was there. I'm praying and I'm asking God, please take this, because I clearly can't carry this. I can't support other people. Everybody's texting me. Everybody wants answers. I'm able to call his mom. I'm able to give, everybody simple answers as best as I could, and call on my kids to do things with me, to support me. So I didn't have to do it on my own, which was completely helpful. And then we have him, my husband, my dear sweet husband, telling me, I remember being in a field. I remember being in a field of flowers. And I'm like, when? Because now remember, I don't know that he had this complete sinus pause. His heart stops. I don't know this. And I'm thinking he's dreaming. And he's like, yeah, I'm in this field and I wake up just now because I'm dreaming about the field again. And this is on my phone. I got to show you this text. So he texts me this picture of this field of these purple flowers. He's in that field with those purple flowers. Can you see them? I blow it up a little bit higher. And I'm like, wait, I don't understand. Like, those are the flowers that you saw after your grandmother passed away. And it's been almost 20 years since she passed away. And he's like, yes, I know, those are the flowers. That's where I was in that field. And I'm like, wait, in your dream? And he can't articulate it, and he's not remembering what's happening really. And all these people are in and out of his room. So a little bit later, he's crying, he's emotional the entire time. And anybody who's had heart stuff, a heart attack, a stroke, this cracks us open, right? This makes us feel on a level we haven't felt in a very long time, and that's exactly what's happening. So it makes you very emotional. I know if anybody's had heart stuff, you can relate to that, or if you're a loved one who has had their loved one go through a heart thing, you've experienced this as well. And like I said, being a medium, I've been in these situations where spouses have been together and they're like, they're a completely different person than they were before their heart issue. And I'm like, yeah, because this is love, right? And when we get brought to a place of complete surrender, what does a medical issue do to you? You can have no control. It breaks you open, and that's when God can do his work. And that's when grace comes in. And that's when my husband starts sharing those big words with me. He says, it was like I was in full embodied peace, like I've never experienced before. There were no thoughts that were upsetting me. There was no chaos. There was only peace. And now all I have is compassion, full of compassion, compassion for the 94-year-old man who is in the bed next to him, because who's on the cardiac floor usually are mostly elderly. And so he's like, I'm feeling him. He's reminding me of my grandfather. I can tell what he needs, and they're not helping him. And yeah, I'm able to articulate, no, you have to sit him up. He's choking, he's aspirating on his food, so you have to go slower. And they do it, and he's fine. So I said, yes, there's the miracle moment. God used you in your pain, in your suffering, in your world of what's happening. You were able to help that man, right? Wow. So lo and behold, we get him home. It's Good Friday. They are releasing him because they have found nothing to be wrong with his heart. There has been no stroke. There has been nothing that has caused this sinus pause. Nothing. Every CAT scan, X-ray, echocardiogram, blood work, nothing. I'm, of course, going, yeah, God woke him up, right? Near-death experiences, that's what they are, a wake-up call. You don't have to be on the edge of life to have a near-death experience. You can be broken. You can be emotionally broken. They come in many different forms, right? And you guys that have had one, leave me a comment below. I want to know what it was like for you. I want to know, were you sick? I want to know where you were when it happened to you. And it forever changes you. Forever changes you. I was born with this ability of being able to be in the veil, of being in the frequencies of energy and colors and of presence of holy beings. I have always had a hard time articulating what this experiences look like. It's taken me a long time to write it in my books, to put it into words, because there really aren't words that match that energy, that match the amount of love that is available. And then when we have the moments of remembrance of being in it, out of this physical, everyday, like tangible stuff, wow, we remember we are equal, we are light, we are all beings. There is nothing that separates us from each other when we're on the other side, when we're in the veil. And that's what he experienced. He also experienced no one being there because it wasn't his time. He heard, whether in outside or inside his body, we're still working on that. It wasn't his time. He wasn't meant to be there, but he was able and meant to experience the vast, unexplainable peace that came upon him, that there were no worries, that he wasn't thinking, and how amazing it is to be free of your greatest thoughts, the ones that poke at you, those ones that gnaw at you, those ones that busy you. Imagine being free of those. Imagine only being in peace and love and having full compassion for every living thing, being, for every experience you've had. So you talk about emotions rising, you talk about crying, you talk about really being raw, right? That's it. A near-death experience is that. And so for those of you who have loved ones who are trying to tell you about their near-death experience, I recommend that you take time to tune in and listen. Listen for those key words of peace, compassion, joy. Listen for the vibrancy of the colors. Listen for their truth to just be heard, validate them, love them, support them. And I bet you're going to start feeling even more connected and aligned, because that's what happens when we lean into somebody else's truth. When we follow their truth and we're like, wow, that light is so yummy. There's no comparison. There's no judgment. There's no anger. There's no anything. There's only love. There's only love. So trust me, they're not making it up. There is a heaven, there is a veil, there are stages that we get to go to that are beautiful and protective, and heavenly beings are there to support us. When it is our time, we are guided. We are guided. We are led, whether it's we are led back here into the physical body, or we are led to our place with God in the heavenly realm. It is real. And for those of you that have gone through it, like I said, I want to know where you were, what happened, what was your experience. It fascinates me because of what it does to you once you have it, like how open you get it. I have many friends that have had, from doing this work, they become my friends because they speak my language, that have had these near-death experiences, and I'm able to lean in and really listen and value what they have to say. And it also validates me at the same time, because what they experience is what I've experienced my whole life. And I just adore this. So last night I leaned into a friend, a very dear friend, Hamilton, and I said, Ham, come for dinner, come talk to my Brian, because he had a near-death experience, and I know he would be seen and heard by you, and you've been through this. And he's just jumped right on that. He was like, I am so honored, and I am there. And so this is our conversation last night. These two men from two different worlds, right? Two completely different worlds come together, and they're having this conversation about God, about Jesus, about the holy experience that they went through. And one's 26 years ago, and one's just 3 days ago. And he's able to support my husband and say, don't stop, don't lean into the logic part of it, don't keep searching for answers. You are the answer, you are the light. And I, of course, am peeling open, and I'm just so grateful that God is lining all this up in perfect order. It's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. Brilliant. So I invite you to pause and to come inward and to lean into spiritual evolution, your soul evolving. And you don't need to have a near-death experience to grow, to have a spiritual awakening. You just need to lean into love, right? It's not hard. And this is a time and a space in where we're living, which is called the age of the healer. We call it the age of the Aquarian. We can call it the fifth dimension. You can call it whatever fucking thing you want. But what this is, in basic terms, is the release of fear and the up-leveling of love. So what isn't based in love, what has been based in fear, can no longer live, can no longer be attached. And if you are vibrating, if you are in the energy of love, you're going to notice this fear really starting to pour out. And you're going to notice really uncomfortableness, breakups of marriage, friendships are crumbling, things are just falling apart because they were based in fear. They weren't based in true love. So just understand that though uncomfortable, you've got this. You can do it. Lean into love. Meditate. Do not stop meditating. Do it every single day. And it doesn't have to be hard and it doesn't have to be long. 10 minutes. I'm telling you, 10 minutes will change your day just by leaning into love, right? Take a moment to pause and breathe. Follow your breath into your body. Pause, hold it, release. That's it. Simple. Doesn't have to be hard. Pray. Pray every day. Pray without ceasing. Call on God. Ask for release. Surrender what you can't carry. Trust that He will carry it, and He will. He will. And then lean into what lights you up instead of what darkens you. Don't look at, oh, I got to heal this. I got to work on this. Oh, I got to get better. I got to study more. Oh, if only this. I got to just get this. Wait, pause, and move into love and be the light. Be the light. Put your heart forward. Instead of working to be healed, like you are healed. You don't have to try. Call in, I am healed. I am blessed. I am whole. I am holy, Holy. I am holy, right? Don't work towards a goal. Be that desire. Be it. We talk about manifestation. Well, that's what God is saying is true manifestation. If you are with Him and you're in that alignment and you are peeled open, it's coming. It's meant. It can't not come to you. It is meant for you. If it's based in love, it matches your soul and your aura. It's meant for you. It's coming to you. So if you are being it and you believe it, well, that is it. So let's get back to near-death experiences and wind this, this call down, because it's huge. It's ginormous. And I'm still processing much of it, as is he. And it's ever unfolding, as I will take from my friend Hamilton 26 years later for him. And he's still processing the miracle that woke him up. The miracle that brought him back to himself, that brought him to this place of grace, right? So that's where I'm going to leave you. God bless you and keep you. And I'm just so happy that you are here. And if you loved hanging out with me, just hit that little subscribe, hang out a little longer. And I hope you have a most beautiful day. And I like to tell people, I know what I know because angels don't lie. Have a beautiful night. Bye, guys.
When she smiles at